As I've begun to work the processes, the one that gets my attention the most is a financial piece. And I'm so aware, and have been for many years, that I hold myself in a place financially that's just enough to get by. I have a relatively high standard of living, but still there's this edge that I maintain.
All right, well, that's a strong statement, and it's good that you recognize it, but every time you recognize it and focus upon it and speak it, you activate it and hold yourself there. So can you see that the way to change things is to tell a different story?
Mm-hmm.
So tell that story the way you want it to be rather than the way that it is now.
Well...
Hi, Abraham.
Oh.
Glad to be here. Thank you for everything you do.
Well, that's the question.
I'm a good creator. I have a high standard. I support myself well. There are a lot of things that I like. So many things I'm looking forward to having and being and doing. I like knowing that whatever I want will flow to me. I like this understanding of these laws, and I like getting better at them every day. And I'm eager to see the results of my improved focus. And I like telling a story until it gets easier to tell. And every story is easier to tell every time I tell it. And I'm determined to tell stories that move in the direction of the vortex. And stories that people tell that are in the opposite direction are more and more annoying to me. There used to be television programs that I actually took solace in watching that now just aggravate me. Because as I watch them, they remind me of the opposite of what I want. They hold me out of the vortex. I love directing my thought. And I love shoring up my thought with words and images. And I love prosperity. And I love being a creator. And I get it that I've put a lot into my vibrational reality. I get it that there's a vortex of creation over there that's full of all kinds of stuff. I can feel that it's a precursor to everything that I am and everything that I want. And I so adore knowing that the universe has my back. It's consoling to me to realize that the source within me is holding counsel on all of that. I like realizing that cooperative components have already been assembled, and I eagerly watch for evidence of them in my life. And every day I become a more cooperative component just by my leaning in more optimism and my effort at being in the vortex more. There are so many wonderful things in my life. You should see where I live. I've created a really nice nest for myself. I've taken pride in the way it came together, and it really is beautiful. And I like that others who don't live as well are often uplifted by what they see with me. And I have seen a steady progress of financial improvement in my life for a very long time. And I know that I'm a powerful creator. And I can tell that I have amassed a vibrational expectation that is far greater my financial nest egg than anything that I own in terms of assets. It's my vibrational asset. It's my vibrational escrow that is my greatest work. And oh, I have amassed something so magnificent, and I so enjoy cashing it in a little bit here and a little bit here and reaping the benefit of it and enjoying the pleasure of it. I love being alive, and I love being alive in these financial times, because these financial times have made me feel more alive than ever before. The contrast has served me. I have put more into the assets of my vibrational escrow in the last while than I've done in a long, long time. I felt it really, really, really get moving. And it's taken a little bit for me to get up to speed with it, and I'm still in the process of doing that, but I'm expecting big dividends to start paying off once I tune in to these assets that are all lined up for me with the support of the creators who create worlds backing them up. I'm glad to have had this conversation with you, Abraham. I just wanted to report in to you of who I am and how I feel and how well life is going for me.
Hello, Abraham. This is just such an exciting time, and I wanted to tell you how much I appreciate being here and being a part of it. And the things that you've spoken about today with the folks you've spoken to have helped to clarify some of the things that are going on with me. Obviously, it doesn't do everything. And I wanted to let you know that I'm grateful that Jerry didn't continue to be an acrobat, and that
oh, he continued it
in the form that I knew, and or knew about, and that you learned to meditate, and it just is just so much to be grateful for, and I feel a little overwhelmed at this point with it. But what I learned that I wanted to talk about was that how many brushes in the last few weeks that I've had with it, in the vortex. And the thing that kind of confused me a little bit is that, and I'm excited about the confusion, is that there's so much going on. It's like being in a candy store and not knowing what to pick out. It's like there's a lot of distractions, yet there's so much that's going on that's positive, and yet then there's another something stimulating and another something stimulating. And I'm wondering how for me anyway, how can I stay focused? I'm looking forward to learning to be focused when I'm having these experiences of exhilaration and feeling like I'm in the vortex. And
well, the whole point of being in the vortex is for the joy of being in the vortex. And so if you're in the vortex and it's wonderful, then what difference does it make what part of it you're focused on? Yeah. Unless you're using the vortex to get to some other place, which means it's spitting you out. In other words, you see, the vortex is not a means to an end. It's the arriving at the vibrational legacy that is you. It's the coming into alignment with the creation that is you. And so sometimes people talk to us like that, but what they're actually meaning is, I'm still feeling uncomfortable because I thought that I'm on the path of choosing the right thing, and now there's so many things for me to choose from that I'm uncomfortable that I don't know which thing to choose. If you really mean it the way you said it, it would be a little bit like saying, I am at a buffet and there are so many wonderful choices, I don't know what to eat. And we say, what difference does it make if what you're eating is tasting good? You don't usually say, oh, I can't eat that, and 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 I can't eat that all at the same time that I'm eating this. Well, maybe you do. Through the sifting of life, you create this vortex that is the consensus of all that you have become. And when you tune yourself to that and you have become it, there is a satisfaction in the alignment of it that you're not describing here. In other words, you're saying, I'm getting in the vortex and I'm still feeling confusion, or I'm still not sure which way to go, or I'm still not feeling the clarity or the inspiration. And so let's just say you're on the brink of the vortex and sometimes it's taking you in, but when you get in there more, all this stuff will clear up. Let's just take the analogy there.
So if I'm on that wheel that goes around and around and around, I'm on the outer edge, which is whipping me around pretty fast, and I need to move in.
Now, you see, you've said something really brilliant. So let's talk about this vortex, because this vortex, as you must be able to feel, even from the analogy, there is not a distinct doorway that indicates in and out. Mm-hmm. Because it's a vibrational thing that we're talking about here. So the doorway or the edge of this vortex, let's call it on the emotional scale, it exists somewhere between hope and belief. That's where that doorway is. And the closer to belief you are, or knowing, then the calmer the ride. The closer to hope you are, then the more raucous the ride. So if hope is what got you in and you're not quite up to speed, then getting up to speed is going to feel like, whoa. Getting up to speed is going to be that adventure you seek. Getting up to speed is going to be that feeling of exhilaration, that feeling of passion that so many of you are addicted to. In other words, it is so fun to tiptoe into that vortex, not being quite ready for it, and have it take you where you want to go. And that's what happens when you get in the vicinity of who you are. Law of attraction is going to sweep you in with it, just like a negative thought could sweep you in with that. And instead of feeling woo, you feel ugh. So here's this vortex that's taking you in, and getting in there and getting up to speed. At first, it will feel like high exhilaration, but when you practice that vibration and you learn to maintain it, now that exhilaration is going to turn from exhilaration, which feels like adventure, which feels like excitement, which feels like something really new. It's going to morph into contentment. It's going to morph into expectation. It's going to morph into something that's a little bit contrasting. Because if you like adventure and it gets calm, you're going to be seeking more adventure. Now, the best feeling creators are those who are aware of the vortex, who know how to get in, who get up to speed as fast as they can, who are willing to explore the new contrast that will show itself to them, who keep reaching. So you can just have this steady life of exhilaration. Jerry and Esther are walking back through the kitchens, and it's really fun in these hotels because there are whole cities back here in the bellies of these hotels with so many busy, helpful people and so many contraptions that do so many things. There are food slicers and coolers and cookers and storers and carts that tote things around and inventions to make things better. And Jerry said, "Oh, that's a really good invention." And Esther thought, "I wish I had a need for that in my life." And then Esther said to Jerry, "If you were back here a lot, you'd invent a lot of things because it's so fun to be in an environment that calls for a better way to do it." And she sees that Jerry has a lot of fun in figuring out a better way to do stuff. And so you all do. You all have so much fun in finding a better way. So would you say, from this conversation that we've had and from what you're feeling, that you are on the brink of the vortex, that you're in the vortex? In other words, where do you fit into this story?
Well, I think I've had a couple of pinky toes in, you know what I mean? And I'm on the edge and having this exhilaration of approaching. Certainly,
So what you want to do is just have more deliberate, inside the vortex conversations with yourself. Compliment yourself. I know how to get in. I know about emotion. I can tell when the vortex throws me out. I know how to get back in. I like being in here in this way and this way. I appreciate this. I appreciate this. I appreciate this. Really, lie in your bed and bask and go to sleep and wake up and bask and do some focus wheels and go from the focus wheel to the book of positive aspects, because the focus wheel will get you in. The book of positive aspects will solidify you in. And the rampage of appreciation will get you up to speed with the vortex. In other words, the work never ends, does it? Just never ends. Always another process. Abraham's always got another process. There's always another hill to climb. And we say, well, you can look at it that way, or you can say there's always another vista to view. There's another hill. There's another something. There's another piece of expansion. There's another place to go. There's another vibrational place to go. Always, 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 always.
Well, I owe so much to what's happening here, and I owe so much. My wife has been dedicated to making sure that we're here and that we're thinking and we're talking about this. It's just been, it's been an exhilarating weekend. Thank you.
Well, we agree with you. We have been out on the leading edge on a lot of topics, and we've been fine-tuning in a very powerful way. And those of you who are in the fine-tuning mode have lots of meaty new things that are happening within you. But we want to say to all of you, let's just knock it back a notch, and let's stop making such a big, hairy deal out of your natural inclination to feel good and your ability to do just that. In other words, there's no risk here. You're not going to fall off some cliff. There's no danger. You're not going to get into some sort of a negative vortex that's going to carry you off into oblivion. In other words, there's lots of leeway, and the source is with you.